The Cleveland Cavaliers are the biggest sleeper team in the entire NBA. Most people don't truly understand how crazy of a season they're having. This is a team that has battled through adversity all year, and it's also a team that I think no one wants to see in the playoffs. The Cavs have dealt with injury after injury and are still managing to dominate against all of the best teams in the league. Before we talk about why the Cavs are going to be a team that nobody is going to want to face in the postseason, we got to talk about the absolute tear that they are on recently. I would say this year, but really recently, the last month, the last 2 months. So look, this is how their season started, right? They're about 500. Then they get to a point where they lose back-to-back games, not the Boston games, but down here you guys can see Milwaukee and Toronto. So they're 18 and 15, right? Remember that. 18 and 15 is their record. Now, they've played 20 games since this point, 18 and 15. And in your head, so 20 games, what record do you guys think that they have in this 20 game span? I'll give you guys a second to, think. 20 games, what do you got? You got 10 and 10, 12 and 8. What do you have? 20 and 0, 0 and 20. So as we scroll, you guys can see they have 3 wins right here. But as we scroll, I mean, this is unreal. They take a loss to Milwaukee, but they ended up, beating them on a, not a back-to-back, but back-to-back games against the Bucks. We continue scrolling on, and they have gone 18 and 2 in their last 20 games. That's unreal. 36 and 17 record. And to start this stretch, they didn't have Garland, and they also didn't have Mobley. This is a team, and this is the craziest part about this, is they're 36 and 17, as you guys can see. The craziest part about this is they haven't had Darius Garland and Mobley for like more than half the season. Jarrett Allen's also missed a few games. Mitchell has missed like 10 games. This is just crazy. And as you can see right here, this is the complete games played. So they've played 53. I did the math. 53 games is what they've played. Garland's only played in 28. And in some of these, he had his minutes restricted because he's coming back from an injury. And Mobley as well, 29 games. That's crazy. Donovan Mitchell deserves to be in the MVP conversation more. Does he deserve to win it? No, probably not. But no one really brings up his name when they talk about the MVP. Someone else that has been very solid for this Cavs team is Max Strus. Harris LeVert's been a very solid 6-man. Then you got, Niang, Okoro, Sam Merrill's been solid, and Craig Porter is, I don't think anybody expected to, Craig Porter to be as good as he's been. And after going on this absolute tear, the Cleveland Cavaliers are the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference. And I don't think a lot of people know about this. Like, if you're deep into the NBA, you probably know the Cavs are 2nd because you probably are checking the standings every day, every other day, every few days. You know what I'm saying? Maybe you're on NBA Twitter, you're seeing stuff. But when you talk about the Eastern Conference, everyone says, oh, you got the Celtics, you got the Bucks, you got the 76ers. But the Cavs being the 2nd seed is crazy. And that's like, seeding matters a lot. When we get into the playoffs and you have, home court advantage in a 7-game series, that matters a lot. So the Cavs being the 2nd seed right now, they'd play the Miami Heat. If we just went off, I know the Heat would have to win in the play-in and everything, but assuming the Heat are the 7th seed, Heat Cavs, that would be a really good series because I'm pretty high on the Heat, and I think the Heat are another team that nobody really wants to see. But the Cavs having this advantage and being pretty solidly ahead of the Bucks. Like, look, they have 3 less losses, 1 more win. The way to look at it, you could look at the games back column. The Bucks are, 2 games back from the Cavs. The Knicks are 4 games back from the Cavs. So they're ahead of the Bucks. They're ahead of the Knicks, who everyone is talking crazy about the Knicks. They're hyping them up. And yeah, the Knicks are a really good team. They're going to be fun to watch in the postseason. Everyone's hyping up the Knicks, but not enough people are talking about the Cavs. And that's why I'm saying I think the Cavs are one of the biggest sleeper teams, because I don't think enough people, a lot of the NBA casuals, if you want to call them that, are aware of what they're truly doing. And again, they dealt with the crazy amount of injuries. So for them to be 36 and 17, the 2nd team in the East, I think we can all say that is insane. And one of the craziest things about the Cavs that I didn't even know until the other day, because you guys know, if you watch the videos, I'm always looking at offensive rating, defensive rating, I'm looking at the advanced stats. According to defensive rating, the Cavs are 2nd. The Timberwolves have pretty much been leading. They've been in 1st by a lot all year, so that's no surprise there. But the Cavs are in 2nd, which I never knew that they were. I knew they were solid in defense, but I didn't know that they were this good until like a week ago. And it makes sense because Jarrett Allen has good interior defense, Evan Mobley as well. They got the 2 bigs. But also, when you talk about their guards, I feel like Donovan Mitchell doesn't get enough credit when it comes to defense. He's always up in the guard's face, playing, athletic defense, getting some steals. And I also feel like Max Strus, you'd think he's just awful at defense just by, I don't know, just by assuming, but he's actually decent. Cavs got some guys. They're a sneaky, really good team, especially defensively. Now, if we look at offensive rating, this is surprising to me because when you think about the Cavs, you got the scorers, you got Donovan Mitchell, you got Darius Garland, Evan Mobley can get some buckets, Jared Allen can, you know, I don't know, give you 15. Karis LeVert off the bench, you know what I'm saying? You got some scorers on this team. So it's kind of surprising to me that they're higher in defensive rating than they are in offensive rating. And the Cavs, you guys can see, they're not even in the top 13. We got to scroll a little bit. They are 15th in the NBA in offensive rating. And I think now that they have Mobley and Garland back and they're getting back into the groove, they're going to have the All-Star break. They're going to probably be, you know, fully healthy after the All-Star break. I think it resumes like February 22nd. This is a team that I expect. And I mean, to me, it matters, offensive rating and defensive rating, maybe not to you guys, but this is a team that I expect their offense to only get better as the season progresses. And something that I always like to look at, top 10 in defensive rating, top 10 in offensive rating. Those are two stats that matter a lot in the playoffs and kind of correlate to, you know, a deep playoff run. If you are top 10 in both, that will correlate. And there's a few teams, you know, the Celtics are first in offensive, third in defensive. The Timberwolves are not top 10 offensively. Okay, so I actually just checked, and the Thunder are 4th offensive and 4th defensive. The Knicks are 7th offensive and 9th defensive. So there's actually only 3 teams. Celtics, Thunder, and Knicks are the only teams in other top 10 in both, unless I'm missing a team. Now, when you talk about the MVP race, you talk about some of the best players in the league. We have a stat right here again. Shout out StatMuse. I always go on here to, you know, pull up stats and look up different things. So we got some numbers. Jokic, 31.2, SGA, 30.5. What stat do you guys think this is? You know, quick quiz, if you guys want to guess in your head, try and figure out what this is before I say it. This is PER, player efficiency rating, and it is a very good stat, especially when you are deciding the MVP, because what this stat is, if you guys don't know, is it pretty much compiles everything into one. A league average PER is 15. So if you're below that, you're not having the best of years. But we're looking at the highest PERs for this season. Donovan Mitchell is, what is this, 7th, I believe. He is 7th in PER. So when you factor in everything, the only players that have truly been having a better season than him is Jokic, who leads the way. So, you know, does he deserve to be MVP? Probably right now. SGA, Giannis, Luka, AD, and Halliburton. Those are the only 6 players that have a higher PER than Donovan Mitchell right now. Again, the reason that I'm bringing this up is because I don't think Donovan Mitchell is being talked about enough on, you know, how good of a season he's having. Again, the Cavs are the 2nd seed, and they've been banged up all year. It's pretty much been on the back of Donovan Mitchell and a lot of the role players in the Cavs. You got to give a lot of the role players like Max Strus, Karis LeVert, Jordan Niang, Sam Merrill, Okoro, Craig Porter. A lot of these guys have stepped up. They've played, you know, good in big minutes when the Cavs have needed them most with these injuries. If we look at the Basketball Reference MVP tracker, is this the most accurate way to look at who's going to win MVP? No, probably not. You'd probably have to look at like betting odds and stuff, but they have Donovan Mitchell at 7th in the MVP award tracker. He used to not even be in the top 10. So we have Jokic at number 1 with a 44% probability to win it. I know that you guys can't see that. It's all the way on the right. Just trust my word. 44% chance for Jokic, 18 for SGA, 12 for Luka, 10 for Giannis to win it, and then everyone else is below like 5%. You got Tatum, Sabonis, D. Mitch, Halliburton, D. Book, and AD. Surprisingly, kind of, because again, I think they factor in a lot of team success. And the Lakers have not been great. You guys can see 29 and 26 this year. I don't think anybody in the Eastern Conference is going to catch the Celtics. And also, you could say, well, what's it going to take for a team to catch the Celtics in the standings? Maybe some injuries. I mean, we've seen Porzingis been banged up, but even if, say, Tatum goes down, I still don't think anybody's catching them because they're just such a good team. I've also been wondering, are we overthinking it? Are the Celtics just going to win the finals? Are they that good? Because everyone speculates like, oh, I think the Knicks can win it. I got the Bucks. I got the Clippers, the T-Wolves. Is everyone just overthinking it and the Celtics are just the clear best team? So yeah, I don't think anyone's going to catch them. Celtics 6 games back. Taking a look at their schedule coming up because, you know, 18-2, kind of crazy in their last 20 games. So is it going to get tougher for them? They got a game against the Magic, then they go to Philly again, no Embiid. They go to Washington, should win that. A lot of their tough games coming up are at home, which I do think matters because when you're playing a really good team, say Denver or Minnesota, and you got to go in there and play, it's a lot tougher, especially Boston too. They play Boston March 5th, but it's home. It's not in Boston. That's a whole different story. So against a lot of these good teams that they have coming up, they're at home, luckily. So to me, it looks like the Cavs are going to keep rolling again. The reason I'm bringing up that I don't think anybody's going to catch the Celtics is because you got to have that thought. Are the Cavs going to be taking that 1 seed? Because again, we've said it so many times, they've had a ton of injuries this year. So I think their season, their team is only going to get better as the season goes on, as they have Garland, Mobley, the whole team back together. Schedule's not looking the toughest. It's going to be interesting to see what this Cavs team does in the playoffs. Question of the day in the comments below. How far do y'all have the Cleveland Cavaliers going in the playoffs? Because I would not be, well, okay, maybe I'd be a little surprised if they were in the finals, but they're the 2 seed. They're having a crazy year. I wouldn't be completely caught off guard and be shocked, but I think they could go to the Eastern Conference Finals for sure. The finals, that would be kind of impressive.